Imagine a world where a government department blatantly ignores the Congress. Sounds far-fetched? Let's rewind to the Trump administration. A precedent was set, a precedent that might have slipped under the radar for many outside Washington, D.C., but one that's likely to influence the course of events in the future. The Trump's Interior Department, led by Secretary David Bernhardt, effectively stonewalled congressional oversight and astonishingly got away with it. Bernhardt made appearances for congressional hearings that determined the fate of his department's budget. But when it came to defending his department's policy actions under Trump, he turned a deaf ear to the call of duty. Invitations from the House Natural Resources Committee were met with silence. This dismissive behavior trickled down to sub-agency heads as well. The head of the Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement, Scott Angel, who was responsible for setting offshore drilling safety standards, told the committee he was too busy to explain its practice of handing out waivers on regulation put in place following the Deepwater Horizon rig disaster. This was not just a case of not showing up. The department delayed providing even basic information in response to written requests from Congress and the public. House Democrats complained that the Interior Department, in response to written questions, would overwhelm them with thousands of documents that had little or no relevance to the topic at hand. Even more bizarrely, some pages contained nothing but Wingding's font. The Interior Department faced lawsuits from outside groups and an internal watchdog audit over complaints it was dragging its feet on public information requests. This audacious move by the Trump administration's Interior Department set a new standard for ignoring oversight. But what were the consequences? Stay tuned to find out more. The art of stonewalling is not new in politics, but under Trump's administration, it reached new heights. The Interior Department, led by Secretary David Bernhardt, took evading congressional oversight to a whole new level. They turned dodging accountability into a fine art, a dance of avoidance that was both audacious and frankly astonishing. Consider their response to the House Natural Resources Committee's requests for information. Instead of providing clear, relevant documents, they opted for a flood-the-zone approach. Imagine being on the receiving end of a deluge of documents, thousands upon thousands of pages, most of which have no bearing on the issue at hand. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is also made of needles. It's an overwhelming tactic, designed to exhaust and confuse, to delay and frustrate, but they didn't stop there. They took it a step further with a move that seems almost comical in its audacity. They included pages written in the Wingdings font. Yes, you heard that right. The Wingdings font. A language of symbols and icons indecipherable without a key. It's a clear message, isn't it? A pointed non-response, a thumbing of the nose at the very concept of oversight. And then there's the refusal to provide even basic information. The stonewalling wasn't limited to the House committee. It extended to the public, the very people the Interior Department is meant to serve. Requests for information were slow-walked, delayed, and dragged out, leaving the public in the dark. It's clear that the Interior Department under Trump wasn't just ignoring oversight, they were actively obstructing it. But what did this mean for the public? When a government department ignores oversight, it's not just a political issue, it's a public one. The Interior Department's approach under the Trump administration had repercussions that reverberated far beyond the walls of Capitol Hill. The public, the very people this department is meant to serve, felt the impact most keenly. The department's slow pace in responding to public information requests was a disservice to the people. It undermined the principles of transparency and accountability that are fundamental to a thriving democracy. But it didn't stop there. The department's actions sparked a wave of lawsuits and internal watchdog audits. These initiatives were born out of a need to hold the department accountable for its actions and to ensure that the public's right to information was upheld. Furthermore, the Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement, a sub-agency of the Interior Department, had a critical role to play in maintaining offshore drilling safety standards. Yet, under the Trump administration, this bureau was handing out waivers on regulations that were put in place in response to the Deepwater Horizon rig disaster. This not only posed potential risks to the environment, but also could have serious implications for the safety of the workers involved in offshore drilling. The actions of the Interior Department under the Trump administration didn't just challenge congressional oversight, they challenged the public's trust in their government and the commitment to maintaining high safety standards in industries that can have a profound impact on our environment. The Trump administration's Interior Department managed to dodge oversight, but at what cost? And did they truly get away with it? The Trump era may be over, but the precedent set by his Interior Department lingers on. The disregard shown by the department towards congressional oversight has left a lasting imprint. It's a tale that began with stonewalling and ended with a complete refusal to attend House hearings, a narrative that unfolded amidst a storm of complaints and threats of subpoenas. Yet, it was a storm that never truly broke. The Democrats, despite their vocal displeasure, did not follow through on their threats. The Interior Department continued its course unimpeded, leaving a trail of unanswered queries and unattended hearings in its wake. By the final 6 months of the Trump administration, Interior officials had completely halted their attendance at House hearings designed to highlight issues within the department. But what does this mean for the future? In a nutshell, the actions of the Trump administration's Interior Department have set a new bar for future administrations. It's a bar that allows for evasion and avoidance, that enables a lack of transparency and accountability. Yet, it's important to remember that this is a precedent, not a mandate. Future administrations have the power to choose a different path. They can opt for transparency over obfuscation, for accountability over avoidance. They can attend the hearings, answer the questions, and uphold the principles of congressional oversight. However, the decision to do so lies firmly in their hands. Will they choose to follow the path forged by the Interior Department under Trump, or will they forge a new path of their own? It's a question that hangs in the air, its answer hidden in the fog of the future. The Trump administration's Interior Department may have set a concerning precedent, but it's up to future administrations to decide whether to follow suit. The choice, as they say, remains in their hands. And as we reach the end of our journey through the Trump administration's oversight saga, let's take stock of what we've learned. The Trump administration's Interior Department set a new precedent in government oversight, one that could shape the conduct of future administrations. When called upon to answer to Congress, the department, led by Secretary David Bernhardt, chose to sidestep the oversight process. The approach was not limited to the top tier. It trickled down, affecting even sub-agency heads like Scott Angel, the head of the Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement. This evasion of oversight wasn't a one-off. It was systematic and calculated, extending to written requests from Congress and even public information requests. The department's modus operandi: overwhelm the requester with irrelevant documents or delay the release of information altogether. The implications of this behavior are far-reaching. The stonewalling tactics employed by the Trump administration's Interior Department have not only frustrated attempts at immediate oversight, but have also laid the groundwork for future administrations to follow suit. The department's disregard for oversight went largely unchecked, with no real repercussions coming from Congress. But let's not forget the most significant impact of this saga: the public. We, the people, are the ultimate overseers of our government. The actions of the Trump administration's Interior Department serve as a stark reminder of the importance of our role in demanding accountability from our government. The tale of the Trump administration's Interior Department serves as a stark reminder of the importance of oversight in government. But remember, the power to demand accountability lies with us, the public. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay engaged.